Look, I think that analysis is pretty spot on in terms of timeliness for our adversaries to decide on when's the most opportune time for them to strike. I think there's one other factor that we talked about at breakfast that may alter that a little bit, which is there's so much bad stuff going on right now that our adversaries have collectively kicked off against us, whether it's the border, whether it's the never-ending war in Ukraine, whether it's the war in Israel, whether it's the CCP and what they're doing or going to do in Taiwan, whatever's going on in Africa, whether it's Afghanistan and its resurgence of al-Qaeda. There's so many things going on that I think an adversary that traditionally might have waited to that opportune day might come in the interim and say, these guys have no idea how to defend what we can put out there right now. So maybe they go now. Maybe they go in the interim in the next 100 and whatever it is, 4 days or something like that. But they've already done three things that nobody said would ever happen. Started 2 new world wars in Ukraine and Israel, and allowed China and the CCP to flex their muscles on Taiwan. Everybody's like, that's never going to happen. Well, it didn't happen under Trump. It all happened now. And we haven't even talked about DPRK, their new program, their rockets. That guy has been having a party this entire time. Or Venezuela, right? You know, people forget about how bad some of these regimes are for global stability when they're not in the news every day. And I think that's advantageous for their leadership, and they see it. And they're like, all right, well, let's figure this out. Because at the end of the day, all they care about is themselves.
How vulnerable are we to cyber threats?
Big time.
What are the other vulnerabilities?
From our adversaries specifically?
Yes.
We talked about everything coming in from the border, huge collective threat that's just going to keep growing and metastasizing. And that includes a lot more of the physical stuff, right? The crime, the fentanyl, the narco trafficking, the sex smuggling, that kind of stuff. The cyber stuff is in a different lane, but could expose us just as much, if not worse. And I think we're very, very, very vulnerable to that. Just look at what CrowdStrike did, you know? Shut down. That's an American company run by James Comey's buddy.
Is it really?
Yeah. James Comey's former number 2 is Sean Henry, the COO, or whatever it is.